There is a rhythm to the agricultural year that the early 20th century farm managed with a care and intentionally that modern gardening has largely collapsed into a single growing season narrative: plant in spring, fertilize through summer, harvest in autumn, and start again. The 1900s farmers who produced the most consistently extraordinary yields across decades of continuous cultivation did not see the year that way. For them, autumn was not the end of the growing year. It was the preparation for the next one. And the most important preparation they performed, the one that set the productive ceiling for every crop that would grow the following spring, was the incorporation of kelp meal into the soil before the winter dormant season began. This practice did not originate with the early 20th century. Coastal farming communities had been carrying dried seaweed inland and applying it to agricultural soil for centuries before commercial kelp meal processing made it widely accessible. The effort of that transport, before mechanized vehicles, along roads that turned to mud in autumn rain, carrying material that smelled powerfully of the sea, was justified by something those farmers observed consistently and empirically: soil that received kelp produced crops that soil without it did not. The crops were larger, rooted more deeply, showed better drought tolerance, recovered more quickly from pest and disease pressure, and maintained their productive consistency across successive growing seasons without the yield decline that soil receiving only animal manure and compost typically showed after years of continuous cropping. Those farmers did not have access to soil chemistry analysis or biochemical assay. What they had was the accumulated observation of generations of growers applying the same material to the same soil types and recording the same results, the empirical method in its most practical and honest form, uncontaminated by economic incentives to prove that a specific manufactured product was responsible for the outcome. Modern soil science has since explained what those farmers observed. Dried kelp contains over 60 trace minerals and micronutrients in organic forms that integrate into soil biology gradually rather than flooding the soil chemistry with soluble mineral salts. It contains cytokinins and auxins, natural plant growth regulators that stimulate root development, lateral root branching, and cell division in the plants grown in amended soil. It contains alginic acid compounds that improve soil aggregate structure, creating the macropore channels that allow roots to penetrate deeply, water to infiltrate without surface pooling, and air to move through the soil matrix at the rates that aerobic soil biology requires. These contributions do not appear in a 3-number NPK analysis. They appear in the crops that grow in soil that receive them. Neptune's Harvest Organic Kelp Meal with its 102 analysis is the modern continuation of this autumn practice. The link is in the description. The low nitrogen content makes it safe for autumn application without stimulating frost-vulnerable soft growth. The potassium and trace mineral content begins integrating into the soil biological matrix over winter, processed by the cold season soil biology that continues working at reduced rates through the dormant period. By spring, the mineral complexity is distributed through the root zone at depth, the alginic acid structural improvements are measurable in changed soil texture and drainage, and the growth regulators are present where the first spring roots will encounter them. The 12-pound resealable bag accommodates the full autumn application for most home garden beds at the recommended 4 to 6 pounds per 100 square feet, with enough remaining for a spring foliar application that supplements the soil-incorporated foundation with a direct foliar mineral feed at the most nutrient-demanding growth stage. There is a kind of faithfulness in this practice that the early 20th century farmers embodied without describing it in those terms. They fed the soil in autumn not because they would see the results immediately but because they understood the soil as a living system that required consistent investment across the full agricultural year, not just the months when crops were visibly growing. The results came in spring. The faithfulness that produced them was in autumn. That relationship between preparation and harvest, between investment in the invisible and abundance in the visible, is one that the agricultural record supports across every era of sustained productive farming. Autumn is not the end. It is the preparation. What becomes clearer when this system is applied over multiple cycles is that autumn kelp incorporation is not just about improving the next spring's performance, but about steadily shifting the identity of the soil itself. Each season adds another layer of mineral balance, biological stability, and structural improvement that does not fully reset with harvest. Instead, it accumulates. The soil begins to behave less like a medium that must be corrected every year and more like a living system that retains memory of what has been added to it. And over time, that accumulated effect changes how every other input behaves. Compost becomes more efficient in its breakdown and integration. Water moves through the profile more evenly, with less runoff and less stagnation. Plants respond faster not because they are being fed more aggressively, but because the soil environment is no longer working against them. Autumn inputs stop being seen as preparation for a single season and start functioning as long-term infrastructure for productivity. Once that shift happens, the distinction between feeding the crop and building the soil becomes impossible to ignore, and it is that distinction that ultimately separates average gardens from consistently high-performing ones. Subscribe to In the Beginning and check the description for all product links. See you in the next one.